Welcome to the Tipsy Two.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the Tipsy Two. Hi.
Hi.
What's going on?
Not much, but we did.
I hate when he does that. He's
I
like,
know.
and go.
He's like, there's no like, and 3, 2, 1, on. There's none of that. There's just like, go. And we're like, what? Oh, hi. We're always lost and we don't care.
He's just out to make us fail.
He has never wanted to see 2 people look worse in their lives. I remember doing an entire podcast with lipstick on my teeth, and he's like, who cares? Should I go? I should, but I'm not going to. Let's just let her look stupid.
Oh my God.
I
Anyway,
know.
welcome to the Tipsy Two.
Hello.
Hello.
I know.
Okay, we're done.
I feel like I haven't said in a minute, like, thank you so much for subscribing. And if you're watching it, just like as a like sweet, free way to just like click subscribe. You'll never have to hear from us again. But it does help us. We're already at like 173.
What?
I know. We've been gone for so
mean,
long.
My
So
God, that is amazing.
I feel like that's a lot for being gone as long as we've been gone.
I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. So one thing that I know that we wanted to talk about tonight, because we both just got done watching it, was
Traumatized.
I'll let you say it.
Where's Wendy Williams? Where is Wendy Williams? And on that note, let's just talk about. You can't really tell, so bear with us, because I'm sure it's a producer's fault. It's bad lighting. This is actually very purple. In honor of the purple chair for Wendy.
Yay.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So good.
What's in it?
Well, you sent it to me. It's
that's
called
right.
Purple Rain.
It is. It's vodka, pineapple juice, cranberry, blue Sirocco, and grenadine.
I think there's like a splash of lime too.
And lime.
See?
Yeah. Pretty easy. So we're going to have that up on our podcast, but give it a try because it's really good. And it's kind of like a light drink, you know, it's not like heavy or anything.
No, it's really refreshing.
It's very, very refreshing.
Yeah. So
it looks like Kool-Aid.
Yeah, there's a little toast to Wendy because clearly she is going through it. Because unbeknownst to me, I had seen a little something on TikTok about the Wendy Williams like documentary coming out, and that there was like this like big surge to try to get it shut down before it actually aired on Lifetime. And I was like, I wonder what that's about. Like I just didn't have any idea. And then like literally like 2 days later, I got done watching whatever I was watching, and whatever I must have randomly been on Lifetime, and it was like it just started. So I was like, oh, this is what they're talking about. I guess it's on. So it didn't,
I didn't even realize that they were broadcasting it until you told me about it, and I missed the first because there was 2 parts. I missed the first one, and then I just happened to tune in the second night, and I was, and that's when you're like, come over and we'll watch, the first part. But damn, we just got done watching it, and that is some crazy shit.
I mean, I actually I was a huge Wendy Williams fan. I watched religiously every day. I watched when she collapsed. I watched when she announced that she had been living in a sober house. So like I really actually watched every single day. I actually mostly watch for the hot topics because I love like the current events, hot topic stuff. So I was just like always wanted to know what her hot take on it was, on whatever the situations were. So I actually watched all the time. So I was like, let me watch whatever this documentary is. And in 3 minutes, I was like, I was in full shock. I mean, and I think part 1 was just like so jarring and startling that I just was riveted until the very end. And then part 2, I felt a little better towards the end of part 2 because I was like, I feel like there's going to be some resolve for her, and she's going to find her people and get out of like the situation. But like part 1, she missed. So I was like, she watched part 2. So I was like, you got to watch part 1. So she came over a little early and we pre-gamed as we do, as the Tipsy Two would do.
No, like, I did watch it, but I didn't watch it religiously because I was always out or either at work or whatever while it was on. But I would try to catch it when I could. So I wasn't like, I did see the episode, when she fainted and stuff like that. And I try to tune in whenever I could or catch like reruns or whatever. But to watch this, like I watched the first documentary on her on Lifetime. I think it was like a year ago or something it came out. And I was like, ooh, I got to record that. I did record it and watch it. I was like, wow, but it wasn't really anything as extreme as
like
this.
salacious. Yeah, it was probably more about her like early radio DJ.
And it was really cool because I didn't realize like how she got started and then like with the DJ and radio and all of that. So it was really cool to see that. But this was startling.
I mean, she's like the self-proclaimed New York queen of all media type. She gave herself that title. See, like in New York now, Howard Stern is the king of all media.
Right, yeah.
So she had to kind of almost not ask for permission, but they talked about, can I be the queen of, which, by the way, I mean, yeah, she's done all the things too. So,
I mean, I guess what was your take on, like, just in a roundabout way, like, if you haven't watched it, I would definitely watch it. But what?
Yeah, some people didn't get a chance to see it. They're probably just catching little tiny clips on TikTok or YouTube or something like that. Hopefully you're going to catch it here at the Tipsy Two. But I guess my take is I feel really sorry for her. I feel like a lot of people around her were taking advantage of her. She was not in a good way health-wise. She had actually a lot of real illnesses.
Yeah, I mean so let's talk about her feet.
Yeah.
Like that is called what?
Lymphedema.
Lymphedema.
And she said that she had only had 2% feeling in her feet, which is like awful. When I see
look at that,
I think they showed that like within like the first like 5 minutes of like, and I'm just like, like I had no idea.
It is alarming. It really is. It's like, oh my gosh. But then you have to like, I researched it last night and was like looking up, okay, how do you get this and stuff? And they say that it can be inherited or but I also saw some people saying that it was because of it can happen with like drinking too much or something. So I don't know if that's the truth or not, but
well, she said there's no cure, there's no pill to take, so she's kind of like stuck with that. And she kept saying like, I really should. She has this weird self like inflated, I'm gorgeous, I mean she is, like, please don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that, but she's like, I should be in a wheelchair, but like I'm Superwoman and I'm not. Like I don't know, she's got dementia.
What is it? The front? Is it the front?
Lobal
dementia.
This part.
Yeah. Right here. That's what happens. But then, and then with her Graves' disease.
Yeah.
So she has Graves' disease, which is like causing her eyes to do what they are.
It's an autoimmune disease. Yeah. And it causes her eyes to bulge out, which also is kind of alarming because I guess like during the Wendy Williams show, because I watched all the time, you would see that, and I think people were kind of whispering about it, and I didn't really pay that much. I was like, yeah, she does it occasionally, but once it was announced, then I really kind of like paid attention. I was like, oh, I do see what they're saying. It looks like this weird like stare with really big, the white of her eyes are really big, and her eyes are kind of bulgy, but on this documentary,
I couldn't stop looking. I was like, oh my good Lord, like that. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. Like,
it was hard to
beat
watch
around the bush, but it was alarming. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. But I mean,
and like thinking too in part one, like she was, like people, I guess, that have dementia or whatever, there's a lot of mood swings and there's just, she's very mean and nasty to people.
She was very, very mean. Like her her publicist, that is no longer her publicist now. I mean, I think she took a beating from her, with the liposuction and,
Yeah, she's like, when we go to California, she's like, I like your face, but like, I need you to get liposuction. I'm like, what the hello.
Okay, I would be like, well, that's fine, but can I get a little bit of Botox here too?
I'm like, can I get a whole head transplant? What kills me,
Wendy, I'm down. You really want me to, I will.
She called the nail tech stupid, and like she kind of like she was verbally abusive to
the producer, like
Yeah, the people had to break the fourth wall. The producers of the people of the show that were filming it, and because she was just irate and she didn't even want to answer questions.
But here's what she did. But did you notice what she didn't want to answer questions about?
Alcohol, a lot of times, or her health, or her son,
or alcohol, or anything like that. So, which I mean, I mean, take it for what you will, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just crazy to watch, and it's a shame because I really do feel like so many people are taking advantage of her, and her money is in Wells Fargo, locked down all of her money, gave her a guardianship, and I mean, her manager and then her publicist and her what I found interesting was when her niece came to visit from Miami, she was like having no part of that publicist. She's like, who is she? What is she doing here? I want nothing. I don't even want to be in the same room with her.
She peeped her out early.
Yeah. Well, because she's probably thinking, okay, who is this lady? And why is she working so closely with my aunt who, I've been doing that. And is she trying to get money from her,
Well, they're all,
but at the same time though, like on part 1 and 2, I mean, there's people saying that they took Kevin away from her, and put her in, that guardianship because they thought her family was
they thought there was
taking
something
money.
nefarious going on with the family, and that there was some of the money was, maybe being mismanaged by the family, because I think it said something like Kevin, his rent was $80,000 a month, and she had threw him $120,000 birthday party.
Who pays $80,000 a month for rent?
I can't fathom who.
I mean, I know. Okay, he lives in Miami. Okay, so he lives in Miami and he's paying $80,000. Well, she's paying $80,000 a month for rent.
He's in college down there.
To each their own. She's got the money to do it. Hell, if I had her money, I would tell my children. I don't know that I would tell them go get an $80,000.
Not $80,000.
But here
not
is
in college.
What I would be a little upset about. And
here we go.
I would be very upset about this if my daughter called me, or my son who's in college. Well, actually, he just graduated, but he was in college.
Mm-hmm.
If he called me and said, "Mom, I need you to pay my what was it? The
$100,000 Uber Eats
bill, which is $100,000
a month.
F is that? $100,000 a month he's spending on Uber Eats.
Disgusting.
Was it lobster?
That's what I was like. What caviar are you? I mean, what are you eating?
Beef Wellington?
Kobe?
I mean,
what in the Wagyu?
I mean, so is he doing Uber Eats breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Which, by the way,
somebody said that on Twitter that average Uber Eats delivery meal is like $33 or $38 or something like that, and they did the math, and it was like $38,000 a month. How do you get to $100,000?
I mean,
on what
Liam
planet?
is in the car with me, and we go through Wendy's, and he's like, "I want the 5 for $5." I'm like, "Yes, he'll take the 4 for $4." I mean,
right?
Come on.
I'm like, my 30-year-old son will take the Happy Meal. He would like a boy toy,
and he'll just have an ice water with that.
We would like extra crackers. That's what we do.
But
that's just us.
That's
just
month.
us. That's just us.
I mean, that's just so I feel like, for me, in my opinion,
that's someone's
salary. Don't come for me when I say, but that is taking advantage. That $120,000 birthday party, $100K in Uber Eats orders, and $80K in rent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now to each their own. That's his mom. That's her only child.
It is her only child.
If she wants to do that, she's got the money to do it. By all means, don't go for it. But I mean, my God, I just can't get past the Uber Eats. I really want to know. I would love for him.
How is your Uber Eats more than your rent?
Yeah,
by $20,000.
He's
something kooky is going on.
I bet it's from certain restaurants and stuff down.
He's not just
ordering
he's at Nobu.
Chipotle or something.
No. No, are you kidding? And by the way, I don't even think Nobu probably does Uber Eats. There's no way.
We should take Tipsy Two down there and go stay in a hotel and see if we can do that.
We're looking for sponsorship.
Merrick, we would love a sponsorship to come down.
Nobu, I don't know. It is just, it's really gross that I don't even think Merrick would take advantage of that situation like that. Even if I had gazillions of dollars, he would be like, let's be realistic here.
I think so too. I mean, he would probably just rack up like $50K in Uber Eats.
I mean, he's not poor.
I know.
Don't get excited.
No.
Probably 60, 65. Let's not get crazy. No, I mean, it's just, I don't know. It was just like crazy to me. But you know, the one thing that I think, like on part 2, when she was the 93-year-old dad that is still like sadly having to watch her, you know, his daughter like go through this. I love when she's talking to him and he just stays in her reality because she's got this dementia and like she's saying things that he knows is not correct. Yeah. Which, by the way, that kind of reminds me, my mom does that. And I'm like always like, I'm always like, no, it's this. It's like I'm constantly correcting. But honestly, this like one thing that this documentary did kind of like open my eyes to is that it's probably smarter just to stay in that person's reality because otherwise challenging them makes them very, very agitated. It
does. And I did read that and I've heard that a lot of times, like challenging them just makes them more agitated, more angry. Yeah. You know, so if you just kind of like go with the flow and the reason I actually was on TikTok and I was watching this, you know how you're just like scrolling and this lady was walking out of her driveway recording her mom and her mom was like hightailing it down the driveway. And she's like, "Where are you going, Mom?" And she's like, "I'm getting out of here." Now they lived in Rhode Island and her daughter was like, "Where are you going?" And she's like, "Well, I'm going to Tennessee." And she's like, "Oh." And most people are like, "No, you're not. Get back in the house, you know, like, come on." Well, her mom had the beginning stages of dementia. And I'm not sure what kind, but she was like recording it. And, you know, she's like, "Well, okay, you know, well, how are you going to get there?" She's like, "Well, I'm walking. Let's go." So her mom takes walking down the sidewalk. The lady's recording her. And she's like, "All right, Mom." She's like, "Well, how long do you think it's going to take you to get there?" And she's like, "Well, I don't know, probably like 2 hours." And she's like, "Well, if it's only going to take that long, you know, maybe I'll just walk along with you." And her mom was like, "Well, all right, that sounds good." And she's like, "Well, if I do that, can we just run back into the house real quick so I can get my jacket and, you know, I got to get my cell phone because it's a 2-hour walk to Tennessee." You know, she was deflecting all this stuff. And her mom, you could see her mom standing there and she was like, "Oh, yeah, that's right." But that's how she got her back in the house. By the time she got her back in the house, she forgot. So, you know, it's just kind of like, oh, I mean, you're going to have to do that with me. I do
that with you now.
I know.
I do that with my mom now, too. She's just like, "Are we going to Maynard?" It's Menards. Like, every little thing, it's just like, yeah. I hate it when people critique your work. Critique my work? Like, I'm already, like, freaking out.
But you're so angry.
I know. And I'm just like, was I raised in a barn?
It's critique.
English. Why don't you know English, mother? Like,
Go to your room.
I know. I'm just like, was I really raised in a barn? Like, Bibles? Like, how do you not know English? Like, I get so agitated. I was like, you should be smarter than me. And by the way, she is, but words don't come to people as quickly as the older you get.
I know. I'm going to be 48 this month, or not month, Jesus, this year. See, I'm already starting. No, but like, I know. But I do, you know me. I'm like,
listen, I'm a full asshole.
Apple, that's what I was trying to think.
Oh my God. I'm a full asshole. But what I'm gonna pray is that my son has more grace than I have.
He won't
treat me. I know that.
He's not going to.
We're on the Tipsy Two. Shut up. Let's pretend our kids are great. He's gonna show me more grace, and he's gonna be like, he's gonna do all those things. Be like, "Let's go back in the house, Mom, and let me get a jacket and a cell phone."
He'll be like, "Oh my God. All right, Mom, you can start walking. WWE's coming on."
Oh my God. Just kidding. SmackDown.
He's like, "And cut."
And thank you. That concludes this week.
Thank you for tuning in to Tipsy Two. We will not be doing any more episodes.
It was fun while it lasted.
No, my son would be like literally, he would be like, okay, he's not a man of many words.
He's like, "Mom, I'm gonna gay pride in like 5 minutes. I gotta go. There's a parade.
There's a parade coming, you know." And he'd be like, "But I'll catch up with you, you know."
In Tennessee.
Do you think that, like, do you want me to call you?
Like, are you thinking Nashville?
No, that would be Alexis. Okay, are we going to Nashville?
Alexis would actually pour you into a car and be like,
"Hold
where's your
on."
credit card? You know we do shots at 5 on the dot.
Mom, you know we do tequila shots every hour on the hour, right?
Remember? Oh, you don't remember.
You don't remember. That's right.
Let's learn a new...
Anyway, okay. Wow. And we could go off on that for like, I don't know, another hour. But anyway, back to Wendy. Not Rebecca and Jen. But
and our dementia.
No, but I guess just tying it up, it's just like, it's a sad thing, you know, like, I don't know. I just feel bad for her, and I feel bad for like the truly honest people that are involved. And unfortunately, I don't think we will ever know.
I don't
who those
feel
are.
like this like documentary really laid that out. Like in the beginning, I was like, "Oh, Will, this business manager's a suspect."
Yeah,
You know, certainly that publicist. What was her name?
Sean. Yeah,
she was a suspect.
Yeah.
Like I just feel like all those. Because by the way, the business manager Will, I love in the very beginning, the first 30 seconds of it, he's in a black t-shirt, his little jewelry, and a black hat.
He's a jeweler.
Thank you. Okay. Cut to 5 seconds later, he's in full drip like Saint Laurent. He's in Dior. Everything's matching. It's like like his fit, his drip, everything is
maybe she wanted him to look the part.
Maybe.
Because she wanted Sean to look the part when they went to California.
Oh my God, that just reminded me. How sad was it when she was in tears that she saw a thigh gap?
Girl, I'd be in tears too if I saw a thigh gap.
Her thigh gap, though, was like startling.
It was
like
startling.
2 pencils.
I know. It really was. It was
mean,
wow.
I don't know. She's not in a good way. And I hope that actually, I really feel like if anyone should be around her, and even if it's somebody that's taking advantage of her, it should be her family.
Yeah.
Not these random strangers and like leeches.
Right.
So our prayers are with Wendy.
Yeah. So
I don't think we're ever going to see her.
Oh, no. Oh, and
on
that
the
was
podcast.
Real quick. I thought that was such shit on the second part that they actually took her into NBC.
Yeah, they took her to LA.
And
Sean did.
Yeah, to talk about a new show, knowing goddamn well
she's not in any
nowhere
position
near able to do a new show. And I don't know, she keeps talking about that pod with.
She doesn't understand what a podcast is,
right.
and nor do we.
Nor do we. I mean, but
let's not get it twisted. But like certainly she's like, you know, in the pod, right? Right, Will? The pod is like get to talk to people right in the pod. Like she doesn't understand.
We should just start saying, "Welcome to the pod."
They're like, "Are you on Love Is Blind?" Netflix, the pod? What are you talking? No, I just feel like there's no way that she can't string a full sentence together, and visually with her. Her eyes bulging and her she's constantly randomly angry and she's just like lashing out. So it's just it wasn't a good look for anybody involved. So.
I really don't think that they should have probably aired that, like in all honesty, but they did, and so
if you haven't had a chance, if there's any way that you can find a way to get on Lifetime and check it out, you should.
I'm sure they could go on YouTube or something like that
because it's riveting.
So anyway, all right. So okay, that was the Wendy Williams